Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. On today's show, we'll take a look at Volusia County's Marine Science Center. Then Business Beat correspondent Joanne Magley gives us a look at the First Response Disaster Team. And finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio as he's joined by his guest, Jim Mather, president of the Volusia Building Industry Association. They'll be providing an update on construction increases here locally. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. The French government recently showed its gratitude toward the Americans who helped liberate its country from the Nazi regime in World War II. During an emotional ceremony in the Oceanside Country Club in Ormond Beach, the Consulate General of France recently honored 27 local veterans who fought beside the French during World War II. French Consul General Philippe Le Trilliart awarded the insignias of the Knight in the National Order of the Legion of Honor to the men, telling them the French government and French people will never forget what they have done.
And I have to tell you that everyone in France now is aware about the war more than before. It might be curious, but this is more than before, and everyone is grateful. Not only the people of their generation, or people of my generation, but also the young generations. So we want to express, and we do it on the ground in Normandy and in France. When we see veterans, we just go to them and say, thank you for what you did.
To date, the Consulate General has granted knighthood to more than 15,000 American veterans, including more than 1,300 here in Florida.
I am also from Normandy. My family is in Normandy, lives in Normandy. So for me it means a lot, because I know what they did, and I know what we owe them. So for me, as an official, it's a great honor, but as a person, it's a great emotion.
The inductees included 8 residents of Volusia County. Other inductees came from surrounding counties. The French Legion of Honor, founded by Napoleon Bonaparte in 1802, is the highest decoration in France. The distinction includes 5 degrees: Knight, Officer, Commander, Grand Officer, and Grand Cross. The county-operated Marine Science Center is home to one of the nation's major sea turtle hospitals and the Mary Keller Seabird Rehabilitation Center. Since opening in 2002, the Marine Science Center has cared for more than 16,000 sea turtles and more than 1,000 gopher tortoises and freshwater turtles. With veterinary care provided by the University of Florida, the turtle specialists provide x-rays, surgery, and rehabilitation. Their goal is to prepare the marine animals for their eventual return to the sea. Nestled among the palms and other native Florida trees, the Seabird Center has rehabilitated more than 13,000 birds since it opened 11 years ago. The center has a bird ICU, conditioning rooms, and flying cages to promote healing and a return to the skies. While seabirds are the most frequent patients, the staff also cares for many birds of prey, including local hawks, owls, and ospreys. And there's an exhibition area for birds that are non-releasable, including this bald eagle. The center's director, Michael Brothers, said the Marine Science Center is becoming more and more popular.
Well, it's summertime at the Marine Science Center, and that means incredibly busy days. And in fact, in June, we've had over 13,000 visitors. And it goes to show the incredible increase in visitation that we've had at the Marine Science Center. Just in the last 12 months, we've had over 93,000 visitors. And people are just coming as families. They come as a chance to really enjoy the different offerings that we have at the Marine Science Center, whether it's our sea turtle hospital, our bird hospital, all of our exhibits and aquariums, the stingray touch pool that is always a great hit with the public. It's a great time to come out and have the families enjoy the Marine Science Center. Of course, all this growth has its other side, and that is that not only are we busy, but we're really running out of parking. and we've had a real issue with just the availability of parking for all of these thousands of visitors that we're having. So we're looking now at options for expanding our parking facilities to be able to provide a better environment for the people to come and enjoy all that we have to offer here at the Marine Science Center.
Visitors can learn about marine life in the Marine Science Center's exhibit hall, which includes a 5,000-gallon artificial reef aquarium, a cow-nose ray touch pool, anatomical exhibits of a whale and dolphin, and a nautical gift shop. They also can stroll along a nature trail and climb a bird observation tower overlooking the inlet. Admission is $5 for adults, $4 for seniors, and $2 for youth. Children under 3 are free. The Marine Science Center is open every day but Monday. For more information, you can go online to marinesciencecenter.com. 8-year-old Cameron Fulling lived out a dream recently when he shadowed Volusia County Lifeguards and was named an Honorary Junior Lifeguard. The pint-sized Palm Coast resident was diagnosed with malignant brain cancer when he was just 2 years old. His cancer has recurred 5 times, requiring multiple brain surgeries and chemotherapy and radiation therapy sessions. But through it all, he's maintained his cheerful spirit and his courage and his dreams. After Cameron developed a fascination with lifeguards, his mother asked Volusia County Beach Safety Director Mark Swanson if he would let the boy watch the lifeguards at work. Swanson was all too happy to comply.
His mother reached out to me saying that he loves lifeguards and everything they do, and he wants to help people, and this is something he wants to do for a career. So we graciously invited him down here to come and spend the morning with us, and we're showing him all aspects of the job. He says that this is what he wants to do for a living, so what better way to show him than actually see people doing it on the job.
He gave the boy and his mother a grand tour of the lifeguard headquarters in Daytona Beach and introduced them to staff, and they explained the life-saving equipment that they use every day. Asked why he wanted to become a lifeguard, Cameron replied simply that he wants to help people.
One day you're going to be a lifeguard?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that. What are you going to do what's the first thing you're going to do when you become a lifeguard?
Save people.
The tour revved up when beach safety specialist Brad Warner took Cameron for a ride on a beach ATV and into the rolling surf aboard a jet ski. Cameron also walked over to Sunsplash Park, where he took a seat in the lifeguard tower and learned about rip currents and beach flags with a group of children from a local daycare center. Finally, he climbed the big red tower on the beach and helped lifeguard Quinlan Folmsby scan the surf for swimmers in peril.
Well, he's definitely a brave kid. He's been through a lot, very mature for his age. He's basically hasn't been a kid, to be honest. He's been battling cancer for the last 5 years. So brave would be the best way to describe Cameron.
The brave young boy left with an armful of souvenirs, some beach gear, and even a better opinion of the men and women who protect swimmers and beachgoers in Volusia County.
Volusia County Chair Jason Davis. You know, American veterans deserve our deepest respect, and Volusia County is dedicated to helping our local veterans obtain the benefits they're entitled to. Our veteran service counselors have helped veterans receive more than $173 million in compensation and pension benefits each year, along with $1.3 billion in home loans. Volusia County has veteran service offices in DeLand, Orange City, Daytona Beach, and New Smyrna Beach. For more information, please call 386-740-5102 or visit volusia.org/veterans.
When it comes to small business expansion, one local service is really cleaning up. Joanne Magley has the story of First Response Disaster Team in this week's Business Beat.
Most people will never experience a home flood or fire, but it can happen, and when this type of disaster strikes, an Edgewater business is ready to help. Husband and wife Ken and Anne-Marie Poulin own and operate First Response Disaster Team,
First Response, this is Anne-Marie.
a certified general contractor focusing primarily on emergency restoration.
So that when that flood occurs, we go in and dry that property out. We dry the carpet, sometimes the cavities of the walls. Drywall gets wet, it has to dry. Or we have a mold problem, which goes into another part of what we do. We do mold remediation. It's probably 65–70% of our business here in Florida.
And it's not just natural disasters. Broken water lines from toilets, refrigerators, even hot water heaters account for the majority of emergency calls.
The Poulins started the business in 2010. In 2012, they became clients at the Volusia County Business Incubator, which is funded by the county's Economic Development Division and managed by the award-winning UCF Business Incubation Program.
Actually, it's an interesting story because we have an invention that we made. My wife's brainstorm and I put it together. So we were talking to Connie Burnell about our invention, and she started talking about our business, and she's like, I really like your business. Let's talk about that. And then she had us enroll in classes, and we went to the classes, and we thought that the incubator would be a very good fit for our business, and it is.
Before starting First Response, Ken was working as a general contractor building and renovating properties. Then his family experienced a home disaster.
We had a flood at our house, and the insurance company called in a competitor, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. We've owned several businesses. I saw the model that was there and the money that was created from that flood and thought, wow, that's a pretty good model.
Ken says as the housing market and economy slowed, he and Anne-Marie decided to venture into the disaster restoration business. They both went to school, and Ken became a master restorer with the Institute of Inspection, Cleaning, and Restoration certification. They are both licensed mold remediators.
That means, and that basically entails many schools and understanding many different circumstances that we can be in, as carpet cleaning or drywall repair, all the stuff that we do. So we enjoy the residential side of it. We get there, people are upset. Our job is to calm them down, make them understand what's going on, help them through the process. We've done things like take pets and hold them, and we do anything we can for our customer.
When they joined the incubator in 2012, they had 2 employees and were operating out of their home. Now, the family-run business has 9 employees and operates out of a 5,500 square foot facility. Anne-Marie credits much of the growth to getting business training at the incubator.
A lot of the marketing ideas that Connie helped us with as far as reaching out to the people, to our audience, the people who would need us, different neighborhoods, thinking like a person who might have a flood. Well, Anne-Marie, how would you reach me if I had a flood? How will I know that you're there? That was one of the biggest things that Connie really helped us with.
She says business planning was also a big help.
We tend to think just today, where Connie helped us to project out in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, where do we plan to be? You don't plan to fail, you fail to plan.
In 2014, the company's business grew by 60% and is on track to grow 30 to 50% for the next 2 to 3 years at the Edgewater location. Plans are also in the works for the company to build more locations in Florida in the next 2 to 3 years. The success of First Response Disaster Team is paying off in more than just profits. The company was named the Incubator's 2014 Entrepreneur of the Year.
It really validates all of our efforts. We work hard. My wife and I, probably 60 to 80 hours a week. It validates that our dream is, it's real. I mean, it's a lucrative. We employ 9 people that, provide for their families, so we're doing it.
For the Business Beat, I'm Joanne Magley.
Time now to join horticulturalist Joe Sewards as he brings us some Florida-friendly landscaping tips.
Hi, I'm Joe Sewards. Welcome to Horticulture Today. Well, it's been a year now. If you recall, last year we were awarded an ECHO grant from Volusia County to redo our landscape here at the Extension Office. The grant was for $55,415, and we've made some tremendous progress in 1 year. Last year at this time, we were just stripping sod and getting ready to plant things, And now, 1 year later, we've planted the majority of the plants, and I would say we're about 75% complete with this project. It's a 2-year grant, so we got plenty of time left, and there's still ways to go, but we've made tremendous progress. Remember, this is a teaching and demonstration garden. It is open to the public, and you're welcome to come out, walk around, and get ideas for what you can do in your own landscape as well. We've employed all 9 principles of Florida-friendly landscaping: right plant, right place, watering efficiently, fertilizing appropriately, managing landscape pests responsibly, mulching, recycling, protecting the waterfront, and reducing stormwater runoff, as well as attracting wildlife. All 9 principles are on display here. You're welcome to come out and have a look. Again, this is a teaching and demonstration garden, and we hope that folks will come from all over Volusia County and get ideas for how they can create their own Florida-friendly landscape at their property. And if you have any questions about our landscape or you want to know where we are at 3100 East New York Avenue in DeLand, right in front of the fairgrounds. You can also call us at area code 386-822-5778, or you can go to the website, volusia.org/extension, and you can get information there as well. For Horticulture Today, I'm Joe Sewards.
Well, let's head into the studio to join Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest, local builder Jim Mather, president of the Volusia County Building Industry Association. Dave?
Thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. Residential and commercial construction is one of Volusia's biggest industry sectors. Builders across Volusia County are back to the good times after some pretty lean years during the Great Recession. In fact, there's so much building going on these days, qualified workers and construction materials are in high demand. With us in the studio today for an update on Volusia County's construction industry is a local home builder, Jim Mather. He's the current president of the Volusia Building Industry Association. Jim, how you doing today?
Doing great, Dave. Thanks for having me here.
No problem. It's nice to talk about good times as opposed to 4 or 5 years ago when things were pretty tough. We're back to some pretty good prosperity in Volusia County.
We are doing well. The Volusia Building Industry Association has about 250 members, and those members include all builders, subcontractors, and mortgage lenders all. And everybody's ready to take that word cautiously and out of the cautiously optimistic phrase, and we're all optimistically moving forward.
You know, Jim, talking to a lot of people over the years, prior to the Great Recession, Volusia County's home building industry in particular was literally on fire. I mean, just the number of new homes being permitted and so forth, and then along comes the Great Recession. Going back to those really, really good times, I've heard people say that level of activity probably wasn't sustainable, and this is probably a more sustainable level of activity.
Yeah, those were tough times, Dave. Not as tough as what they were maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but they were tough to get our subcontractors lined up and suppliers, materials. It was very difficult and probably would not have been sustainable. But a healthy market for us is about 2,500 permits a year through the county of Volusia. Right now we're hovering at about 1,300 for the last few years, hopefully ticking up to about 1,500 this year. So we're at a much more sustainable level and hopefully moving towards a normal market.
So as you look at the market in Volusia County, what do you think is fueling the demand? Is it retirees moving down here or better interest rates? Or what's causing this activity?
Well, there's quite a bit of everything. Retirees are definitely starting to come into the area again. You've got a lot of people that have been sitting ready to retire for the last few years but couldn't sell their homes maybe up north that are starting to move down to the area. You've got, let's face it, the weather here is beautiful. Everybody loves the beach. We're close to Orlando and Jacksonville. And then you've got the west side of the county, which serves as a bedroom community for Orlando with good jobs over in Orlando. So there's really a lot going on that's fueling Volusia County's housing industry right now.
And when those poor folks in the Northeast go through a winter like they went through this past winter, it makes moving down here look a lot more attractive, doesn't it?
Makes it a whole lot better. You don't need your snow shovels down here, Dave.
Hey, we know that the mortgage lending industry, had to go through its own kind of restructuring. There was at one time mortgage loans were pretty easy to get, almost too easy, and then along came the mortgage crisis and so forth. Banks were under scrutiny. As a result, they tightened the screws pretty tight. my understanding is they've loosened up a little bit now. I mean, what's the story on the ability to get a mortgage?
Yeah, the mortgage industry is starting to loosen up a little bit. You know, for an industry that went through the losses that they went through, they did tighten up quite a bit to make sure that they're reset, just the same as the builders went through the reset. They went through a little reset also. Things are starting to loosen up a little bit. Loans are becoming more readily available with maybe a 10% down payment instead of 20. Things of that nature. So it is a little easier to get a loan right now.
And we know one thing, interest rates have been historically low, and so that's a pretty good reason to go out and get a home right now.
They have been. Then they're still kind of stumbling along the bottom right now. They're starting to tick up as the Fed talks about a rate increase, but they're still low, and they'll probably never be as low as they are right now.
I know, because I remember certainly in one of the houses that I bought, I mean, it was like 12, 13, 14% interest. God, to think about 3% or 2.5% or whatever it might be now, I was like, really?
It is. Right now, 6% sounds high, right?
It does. It really does. Hey, let's look at the commercial side of activity in Volusia County. You know, there's some tremendous projects underway, including the $400 million redo of the Speedway and other projects. I mean, that's a great sign for the industry.
You know, the commercial side is good in a lot of aspects. Yes, the commercial construction industry, it's great to see all those projects going on, but there's a lingering effect from those too. And it is, not just with the major projects, you know, a lot of smaller projects going on around Port Orange.
Sure.
But there's a lot of lingering effects with those projects, and they bring jobs for the construction. They bring folks into the area, they bring their families down for the tourism side of things. But then those businesses that they're building require every bit of jobs that any other existing
Sure.
building does, from janitors to cashiers to all types of different jobs. So they bring jobs to the area, and they bring construction to the area.
You know, do you think that some of these construction workers that have come into the area for these big projects and so forth, do you think they're going to like it here so much that perhaps they'll stay and go to work for other projects?
You know, there's very few natives here in Daytona Beach, so that we all got here somehow, and absolutely, that's definitely a big portion of how a lot of the younger crowd gets here to Volusia County, is through you know, a job, whether it's a conference or whether it's being here for a short period through a job. They come down, they decide they like it, and they go home and sell their house and move on down.
With the activity that's going on, Jim, I've heard that you know, there's a scarcity of qualified construction workers. What's your take on that?
Well, that's definitely a concern for us right now. You know, with an industry that lost about 70% of its workforce over the last several years, trying to build that workforce back up isn't easy. A lot of those workers moved on to other areas.
Right.
They relocated. Texas didn't feel quite the hit that we felt here with housing. North Dakota went through a boom a few years ago. So with those construction workers relocating, that was definitely a hit. Then you had some that just went into other careers. They went into the health industry. They retired, a lot of them.
Right.
So it's definitely been quite the task to try and find and retrain a workforce again.
So let's say I'm you know, 18, 19, 20 years old. My understanding is there are construction industry jobs available if you can get some basic skills. What kind of basic skills do you need to get into the field?
Well, it's really basic. Your basic skills are, you know, reading a tape measure, being able to use a saw to cut lumber, cutting sheet metal, using air tools, pneumatic tools, things of that nature. Those are really the basics that you need to know, and there's a lot of on-the-job training available to do that. But in addition to that, there's programs for an 18, 19, 20-year-old. Daytona State College is offering a program right now to learn those basics, and that program actually comes with a 2-week internship after that in the construction field. Which gives that student the ability to go out and learn what it's like on a job site, or doing these things that they're learning, and the opportunity to stay on with that company after the fact. But there's opportunities before being 18 and 19 years old. We've done a great, or been able to make a lot of headway, and the school board has been real cooperative with us to bring a program into Volusia County schools and the high schools with the ACT program.
Right.
The ACT program is a program for juniors and seniors to be involved during those years and be in a construction class. It's piloted this past year in DeLand, and it was very successful, and gives them the opportunity at the summer of their junior year, and then the summer of the year after they graduate, to intern with, not just intern, but interview. We hold the job fair for them, and they interview with different companies in the area, And we were able to place 6 students this year through Duane High School with different subcontractors and construction partners throughout the industry.
Coming right out of school with skills and a job. You can't get better than that, huh?
Absolutely.
Hey, Jim, let's talk about the Volusia Building Industry Association. You know, what is the role of your organization?
You know, the role of our organization is to look out for the industry in our area.
Kind of advocate for the industry.
Advocate for the industry through governmental affairs. We're going through, if the public's not aware, we're going through a big code change that is being implemented July 1st. While that's a state level code change, the Volusia Building Industry is just a local association in membership of the Florida Home Builders Association. Which has really advocated on our behalf the last several months and year to keep those code changes in check, and then we're looking out for other things. We're looking at local building departments, working with them to make sure that we're working together to create a positive environment to work together and build new homes in the area.
Getting those permits approved as efficiently and as effectively as possible. That's money in your pocket. Time is money, right?
Time is money, but it's it's making sure that it's a good workflow between both associations. It's and looking to make sure that we're getting the building department things they need and that things are coming out timely from them. Absolutely.
Well, things sound very positive these days for your industry in Volusia County. I want to thank you for sharing the information with us today.
Well, I appreciate you having me, Dave, and yes, we are definitely optimistic about the future here in Volusia County.
Our guest today, Jim Mather, he's with the Volusia home building industry, and with that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.